Past 1 month, we have seen instances that has put Indian police to shame. The first instance is of Amritpal's arrest.
Amritpal Singh.
Amritpal Singh has finally been arrested.
It took Punjab police a whole month to arrest a single individual. And the second case is of Atiq Ahmed. And here is a disclaimer. I have no sympathies for gangsters, especially people who are responsible for murder of so many innocent people. But the murder of Atiq Ahmed is an example of police failure in India, because he was under police custody and he was involved in so many things. He would have known so many things, and there was something that he would have let out. But before he could have become a proper evidence, he was murdered, and the police failed to prevent it. So that got me thinking, how bad is India?
पुलिस में है।
हाँ बेटे।
क्या हालत कर दी है देश की?
Correction, there is nothing called Indian police. Rather, it is 28 different police. You see, police in India is a state subject, which means every state in India has its own police department. So there are 28 states in India and there are 28 police departments. But they all have one thing in common. And for that, we have to dive into a little bit of history.
किसी राष्ट्र की आत्मा या पितरों की आत्मा तब उस राष्ट्र के लिए क्या होता है?
All the police departments of India are governed by an act called the Police Act of 1861. But 1861 is a year which is close to something very, very monumental, which changed India's history. The first war of India's independence of 1857. You see, 1857 was a revolt that shocked Britishers because they were not able to think that Indians were capable of such violence. And in order to ensure that there is no such revolt, there is no repetition of such revolt, they formed India's first police forces under the Act of 1861. And here is a little bit of a problem. Indian police today are not meant to oppress Indians. They are not meant to suppress Indians from starting a revolt. Indian police is meant to serve Indians. We are an independent country and they are meant to serve Indians. But the act through which they are being governed is an act which was meant to suppress Indian voices. So it's a little bit outdated. Since the passing of the Police Act in 1861, there has been 3 major studies on the performance of the police. The first one was in 1901, the second one in 1977, and the third one in 1998. These studies were conducted in an expanse of almost 100 years. The surprising thing about them is that all of them had the same conclusion. And these conclusions were, and I am paraphrasing, the Indian police is outnumbered, outdated, and unreliable. As per United Nations, there has to be 122 police officers per lakh the population of any country. India has a total sanctioned strength of only 182 police officers per lakh the population. And out of that sanctioned strength, only 137 is fulfilled, which means that it is required to have 222, but India has only 137 police officers per lakh the population. And this is a big problem. The second problem with Indian police is that Indian police is outdated. Outdated in the sense of the weapons that they use, the training that they undergo, or the vehicles that they use. As per a report, there is a 30% deficiency the number of vehicles that Indian police require to patrol. And this is not of a very big consequence when we're dealing with ghouls and thugs, local people and local elements. But when it comes to some serious incidents, Indian police attacks. And most recent one was the attacks of 2016.
फ्लोर धंधा में लगी लेकिन बदकिस्मती ये कि डीसीपी पार्टी वोट बत्ती बंद करो और आतंकवादी
Now, there is a disclaimer. I have no issues with Maharashtra police. There were some very brave people. People like Tukaram Amble gave up their lives in order to protect the people of Mumbai from the terror that was unleashed by Pakistani-based terrorists. But in general, Mumbai police was not able to respond in a very effective manner. 10 people coming from Karachi, terrorists coming from Karachi, held India's financial capital hostage for 3 years, and Mumbai police was not able to tackle them and neutralize them. It took NSG, which is India's highest security force, one that guards India's highest offices, take down those 10 terrorists. And compare this with the incident in Paris in 2016. Word of caution, I'm not comparing terror attacks. Both of them were dreadful acts of terror. But there can be some objective comparison in the way the French police responded to the incident. See, the French terror attack or the Paris terror attack started on 13th November 2015. But in a matter of 12 hours, it was finally crushed. It led to the death of 130 people. Compare this to the response that Indian police or Indian force basically did. It took them a 4 days to finally crush the terror attack, which led to the death of 160. The third problem is the problem of corruption. And this is a pan-India problem. It spans every department and every functioning body in India. But in police case, it is little bit different. You see, there are total 22 lakh police officers in India. But out of those 22 lakhs, 86% of them are just officers to the post of constables and head constables. And these are not very well paid jobs. And plus they have a very hectic work schedule. So because of this, it becomes essential for them to take bribes. And then the officers who are at the upper position in the Indian police departments, well, they leverage it as much as possible. So what's the solution to this problem? Surprisingly, solution is there, and it has been there for past 14 years. See, in the Prakash Singh Badal versus Union of India judgment of 2006, the Supreme Court of India gave mainly 4 directives, which, if implemented, would have solved the problem of police corruption in India. The first suggestion of them was establishment of a state security. The state security committee would have been a committee which would have comprised of the chief minister, the DGP, which is the highest police office in any state, the leader of the opposition, and the retired judge of a high court. This committee would have looked after the independence of police to make sure that there is minimal to less interference in the governing of police in the state. The second suggestion was the establishment of a police establishment. It will consist of DGP, the highest police officer in the state, and some senior police officer of the state. This board would have looked after the transfer and posting of police officers in the state. You see, India has a very big problem. Police officers come directly under the command of political leaders, elected political leaders. And certain times, these political leaders misuse their power, post or basically transfer police officer in order to basically shoo them away from police investigations. Take the case of Tukaram Apte, a 2005 match IPS officer who has been transferred 19 times in his 12-year career because he was an honest police officer trying to investigate the wrongdoings of elected political leaders. The third suggestion was establishment of a police compliant authority. This body will be governed by a retired district judge, and the aim of the establishment of this body was to prevent the cases of police brutality. Take the case of P. Jayaraj and Phoenix. They were two individuals living in the state of Tamil Nadu who got killed in a police brutality incident that happened in 2020 for alleged COVID regulation violation. So, this is the need of the hour. These three suggestions were the need of the hour. But the sad thing is that it has been 17 years since the passing of the Prakash Singh versus Union of India judgment. But still, no state government and not the central government, not any government of this country has implemented these recommendations. That is the sign. At the end of it, I want to clarify one thing. We are not against the police force in India. They are incredibly hardworking men and women, and because of their hard work, because of their struggle, we and our families are able to sleep well at night. All we are doing is that we are highlighting certain flaws and asking for the implementation solution. That was our effort.